gonna go try to catch the sunrise. Oh, and by the way, we had spent about a week in the Everglades, and this day that we spent in Flamingo and in this area was my favorite by far. Feel the wind blowing in. So this is the southernmost part of the continental U.S. So I had been pretty excited about this morning, and I couldn't get anybody to get up with me. But I just went out. I had a few places I wanted to go to watch the sunrise. There's time for sleeping at other times, not when you're in a paradise. It's kind of a once in a lifetime sunrise, unless you spend lots of time in the southernmost part of the continental U.S. taking it in. And I went to this one pond and I just hung out here and took in some silence. There were very few people up and about. There were a few cars that went by, but it was pretty much just me wherever I went. Pretty beautiful. Christian Point hiking trail, 1.6 miles one way. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I might do a little of it. Just to freak myself out a little bit. It's not maintained, it says. Wow. Oh, it's muddy. Very muddy. That would be 1.6 miles of hard hiking. So the sun just rose. I'm gonna go back to the campground. I've got to be in line to get our kayaking tickets, hopefully at 8 o'clock. I might try to get a picture of the sunrise in the campground. I got a few more minutes to kill before I have to be at the visitor center, so I'm gonna look back here for a minute. So that worked out perfect. I did my sunrise hike. Nobody got up with me because they're lazy bums. But I wound up at the visitors center at 8 when they opened, and he said the line would start at 9. He said if I was back at 9, I'd be first in line. So I went back and took a cold shower and went back at 9, and there were a bunch of people in line, and I got to leapfrog them because I was first. So we're on for a 1:15. So we've got a pretty full day on both ends of the park. This was our 2,000-mile round trip from Nashville, Tennessee to Everglades National Park. I did a video about the getting there and getting back and a 2-year update because we've been RVing for 2 years. We saw lots of areas. We started off on the Everglades city side and wound up down at the Flamingo side in South Florida. Fun trip. So we're going to go to Royal Palms, which is way up at the front, and do a ranger-led hike there on the Anhiga Trail. And then we're going to come back here for lunch and a 1:30 kayaking trip with a ranger. And then we have a 4 o'clock boat ride here. And then we're going to have dinner. It's a full day. We're going to see it all. Pull out first thing in the morning.
Oh, she's shooing him away from their car.
So evidently we're supposed to have a tarp on our car to keep the vultures from eating our car. Vultures like to eat the rubber. I'd read about that before we got here. We're going to take our chances. We're going to go on the ranger tour.
Alligators.
Alligators, that's right. You got that one right. So, I have an alligator right here. He is drying his wings. So the Anhinga bird has a structure, a wing structure. Talk about this one bird I absolutely love. This has got to be one of my favorite birds.
Purple Gallinoo.
Purple Gallinoo.
It's walking on the water. Wait.
So the turtle's right there swimming.
Oh, wow. Gumbo Limbo.
Gumbo Limbo. We're going straight into it, baby.
Homestead.
All right, there's a Dumbo Tallow.
Oh, here he comes, Daddy.
Doesn't look like anything's on the truck. Looks like we're all clear for the minute. Gumbo Limbo.
Sit out and kills it.
Yeah, that's why you should.
I don't know where it originated, but we have parts of Tennessee that's just the rain.
Where did it come? After our 2 hikes, we headed back to Flamingo. It's about a 45-minute drive. There's this cool little forest. And then these trees down closer to Flamingo, I think they were dead because the salt surge had gotten in there and killed off a ton of the area. Now, I run my day at Flamingo like a day camp. We were stacked with activities from beginning to end this day. So I scheduled everyone a quick lunch. I allowed them to have lunch and a potty break before we were on to our next activity. So that's what we did here. We were getting ready to go kayaking. Ranger-led kayaking trip. I love a ranger-led activity. Meeting up for the kayaking.
You have a water they can share.
Yeah. $10.
Go ahead and raise your hand. Let us know.
So we headed out of the little marina area and kind of went around this part right here, and the water started getting real choppy real fast. It was windy, and we saw a crocodile up on the bank here right off the bat before we headed out into I guess it's the Gulf of Mexico.
So the land might still be a foot or 2 or 3 below water. Yeah, so the keys are, they're islands. And they're limestone. If you go down, the keys, they have limestone.
Yeah.
an osprey nest.
Ospreys, they'll literally build their nest out of anything they can find. I've seen them use marine debris, I've seen them use plastic wrap, I've seen them use whatever. I mean, it's not ideal. So what this nest is built out of is mainly going to be twigs and branches that it finds from local islands. Throughout the past 75 years of the park's history, that's the message that we've been trying to bring across, that this park's important because the ecosystem is vital to the planet.
It's a giant osprey nest. And then that's where we saw the crocodile, and he says there's another crocodile that hangs out over here. And now we're about to go on our boat ride. All right, over there. We started our trip on a boat ride, and we're gonna end our trip on a boat ride. Big alligator.
The other was end of the world Florida for its location at the end of the peninsula. So I think Flamingo worked better. The people who lived here in Flamingo are part of it. The restaurant was traditionally in this building, but the same stores that did this in also did that in. They've got the concrete laid, again, supposed to be open. They're now saying July.
Maybe two, but yeah.
That's where we're staying? That's the eco tents?
Yeah. That would be a much better formation because they kind of.
We know this one does. If you look over to the left, you can see a small little beach there. That is where it's theorized that the Murray family accessed this key.
No, I mean both types. Sometimes in the shadows at this time of day.
There's a pink bird, another pink bird.
Rosy-head spoonbill.
It might be a juvenile. Snowy egret too, Captain. And I can see yellow feet on the one up way up in front. Keep your eyes peeled up front, folks. We often, yes, that's definitely a snowy egret. It's fine now. We often scare birds out in front of us as we go.
Looking sideways and down.
When I say it was 5.5 days, I would have never dreamt that we were going to get this to the sunset.
I didn't think so either.
I wasn't.
It was decent last night. It dropped below the clouds. It didn't look like it.
Yes, there was. There was. There was.
All right, how many saw green? For visiting Everglades National Park. Thanks for choosing to spend some time with us here at Flamingo Adventures. Hope you enjoyed your tour of Florida Bay. Safe travel wherever the road leads you next.
We're gonna go check out our eco tent. We're in E15.
Or we just grab one.
There's a lizard on that one. E15. We will now explore the eco tent.
They're so cute.
Steaks. Fire. Camper. Stars. Everglades. Bye.